all of you are well tonight. I know I haven't been on in a little while, um, but we had Thanksgiving last month, and then this month we got Christmas. I still haven't yet to decorate for the house. I have yet to go Christmas shopping, which I'm going to be doing this weekend. Um, and then with everybody, with my work schedule, daughter's work schedule, my dad's schedules, it's just been kind of crazy lately. But I am still here. I am here. Um, I did a couple of these. This is the one with the stitches. Um, Getting ready to do a couple more this weekend. When I gotta find the time to do all that. Um, for this calendar, let me bring you to December. December, I believe, is all about trim. Yes. December, edges or borders. Here are some edgings you can use to trim your work. Try using them at the ends of scarves, around shawls, or even a blanket or knitwear. For December 1st, now remember, everything in this calendar, it all goes by multiples of something plus something. So we got a multiple of 4 stitches plus 2 for November the 1st. And then we have for December the 2nd, a multiple of 6 stitches plus 2. This one's kind of neat. Like the little almost floral look right here. And there is a multiple of 3 stitches plus 2. For the 4th, it's a multiple of 12 stitches plus 3. Now, the way they picture this, think about how my mind works here. This looks like a face, and you have to look at it because it really, to me, it really does look like a face. It's like it's going, it gets excited because they got big wide eyes, and here's the teeth. Doesn't that look like a face? Because they got it centered right there in that square. It just looks like a face to me, and I just think that's funny. But that one looks like a face to me. And let's see, today's the 5th, right? Yeah. And so today it is a multiple of 6 stitches plus 2. So it's this. It's a Cookie Monster. Yeah, because for December the 4th, yeah, because it's blue, because they use blue yarn. It just looks like a face, like it's all excited. It's like. But for tomorrow the 6th, it'll be a multiple of 8 stitches plus 4. And this one looks really cool, you guys. That looks really cool. Hello, hello to Nifty 4D and to Coffee Angel Crafts and that diabetic stuff. And for Sunday, we have a multiple of 6 stitches plus 2. And this was kind of interesting. They're like little circles, but it's got some leaves. It just got all kinds of things going on in here. There's some interesting things. Anyway, so far, I have given you one project. I've added some new. Yes, I've added one project from this book. I have put in some videos for projects. I'm dropping stuff now from this book. And some projects from this book. And projects from that book. There are still more to come. I also need to make thumbnails for them. Which, when I get a minute to do that, I'm going to do that. Give me a minute to pick up what I dropped. Okay, I'm going to talk about that here in a moment. I've also got some more of these the crochet surprises that I want to do. Like I have a whole stack over here. I just gotta go through them one at a time. One of them that I'm working on that I've made before. So I don't have the original yarn for it, but I do have some other yarns I can use to make it again. It's called a Gorgeous Gathered Wrap. And it wraps around, and then it's got like a, not really a pocket, but it's got like a place where you can stick the wrap in to hold it together. And but it has it's a like a 2-row repeat. So like after the row 2, then you just repeat that row 2 all the way through, and then it's got the instructions on how to make the wrap panel. So I'm just kind of figuring out how I'm going to do that one. When we get done with those other books, I have some more beginner books we're going to be going through. Just learn how to crochet. It's got like washcloth and a scarf, a vest, and then we also have this. This is like one of those booklets that comes with comes with crochet hooks, like you get at Walmart. And make some of the projects from there. And then these are some other books that I've picked up before in the past. I think this one also came with like a set of crochet hooks at one point. Maybe, I don't remember. There's all kinds of nice, neat things. There's clothing, there's bags, there's blankets and washcloths and scarves, and all kinds of neat goodies in these books when those books are done. So we're going to have some really good fun. Something that I am also thinking about, I have this book, the spiral bound book. It's called Crochet Workshop. Now, I'm not planning a workshop itself. Like, I'm not the person to plan the workshop, but if there was a workshop, I'd be one of the people who would want to help with the workshop. But I'm not planning a workshop. But, see, here it is. Crochet Workshop. The complete course for the beginner to intermediate crocheter. And what I have marked up here is that each chapter is called a workshop. And then within the workshop is projects. And in some of the chapters, not only do they have projects, but they also have other things that they show you. Like in this particular chapter, am I missing? Okay. Oh yeah. Talk about simple textured patterns. There's also decorative texture techniques, decorative texture patterns, lace patterns, as well as several projects. And I'm talking a lot of different projects. And there's necklace. Um, there's a baby dress, belts. I know there's like a scarf, and motifs. Talk about how to do motifs. Pillows, and coaster, of course. Of course, they tell you all the basics at the beginning. Um, but I'm still trying to figure out. Lori's Stories of Crochet. Hello, hello. Oh, what book is that? It's this one. Um, Rowan presents Crochet Workshop, the complete course for the beginner to intermediate crocheter. It's by Emma Seaton and Sharon Brandt. Yeah. And see, each chapter is called a workshop. And then within each workshop, they give you, there's different projects to do, and they also tell you other, and they give you instructions on how to do other various different things besides the projects. So I'm not going to do, like I said, I'm not going to set up a real workshop, but I'm trying to figure out how to go about calling it a workshop without people thinking I'm hosting a workshop. Because that's one of the things I want to do next year is have like a workshop, but it's not like, do y'all understand what I'm saying? I don't know. So if I'll do something online, I don't know. I don't know if I'm just going to do like I've been doing with the tutorials, because I've got, once I get through all of the little projects that are in the books I showed you earlier, I've got other books that we're going to be doing little simple, there are a lot of projects in throughout the year, throughout next year, through the end of this year and beginning of next year. I don't know. I'm just putting a lot of myself. I just got a lot of ideas floating around. But this is one of the workshops. This is one of the things I want to do. Really want to do is a workshop. That's like big on my to-do list. Um, and like I said, I have done a couple of these, and I will try to get some more of these done tomorrow. This is the one with the stitches, which they really should have made this first and then made the other two, and you'll have to go back. You need to go back and watch my video on my reviews on these. But I need to mix. I haven't tried one of the flower ones yet. Those are just a little harder, but I'm going to try to do one of the flower ones soon, probably next year. I'm just trying to sprinkle in a little bit of this and a little bit of that as I go along. Here's going, like I said, I showed you a little bit ago the projects that we've been doing from these books. And we have projects that we are going to be doing from the beginning or the end of this year and next year. We're going to be coming from these books, so that's going to be fun. I may even get started maybe on a couple of the easier projects in here first. It was kind of fun. It's not really fun, but something I thought was interesting is one of these books started you out with a baby sweater and a hat, and then the next thing I think was like a washcloth. I was like, really? We're kind of going to go backwards before we go forward. Oh, and in this one, it actually has like this, that, and like I think the washcloth. Yeah, the washcloth, which are actually also in here, which I thought was kind of funny. I think it was this book. Yes. The very first project in this one was a baby cardigan and a hat. Then comes the striped scarf. Then a vest. then the Afghan, and then neck warmer, and then they do the dishcloth last to show the easiest thing last. Well, it's not the last project, but I just thought that was interesting. They went from, kind of medium or hard to, okay, let's do easy. Okay, then we're gonna go back to medium again. Whatever happened to do, let's do the easy stuff first to work our way up to medium and hard. Nope, we're going right away through hard at them. um, but yeah. Uh, this is going to be some interesting things to make in here. Um, I hope, like I said, I'm still here. I'm still around. Don't worry. I know I haven't had devotions in a really long time, but at the end of the year, we all get busy with with Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's kind of that busy end of the year kind of thing with family and with our jobs. Um, so that's why I haven't been around. But I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm alive. I'm going. I'm doing stuff. In fact, I will show you some of the things that I've made this year. Some of them are from the patterns that are in they're in these books. We just recently made this belt. Well, actually, I need to add a button to it, but you could actually tie it around your waist. You're skinny enough, or you're going to have a little bit of tummy like me, you can still tie it. But we had this belt. 1, 2, 3, 4 colors. The mannequin is wearing it right now. She's much skinnier than me. We have a scarf. I made this one with fall colors. Doesn't look quite so pretty, but they are fall colors. So harder to see. Now, my oldest daughter, I don't think she watches any of these anime videos, so I can show you these. This was actually a little cell phone pouch, but you can put whatever you would like in it, and there's a video for that. I have a tutorial for this headband. Everything I'm showing you, I know that there are tutorials in my video. There are videos for these. This is another scarf. I have a lot of scrunchies inside this pouch, this pull string pouch. Um, and I'm not going to show you all there's like 5 or 6 different, there's even a little bracelet with beads in it, beaded bracelet. It's a coaster, a round coaster. A washcloth or dishcloth. And their scarf. This is a pot holder. This one I used 2 strands of yarn to make this particular pot holder. A hat. Just a basic little beanie hat. I was going to keep this one, but I'm going to give this one to my daughter, but I wanted to keep it because it's got my Chicago Bears colors. I'm a Chicago Bears fan. These were some things. These are little coasters, or they might be used as a probably like a coaster. With the looms, one of those old-fashioned looms. I have that. Now I don't have a tutorial for this, but I have found tutorials on this. But this bag is the bottom of this is a CD, and there are, and I can't think of the person that makes the videos, but there are videos on how to make these little baskets out of CDs. And I've taken the same design before and used um, 45 records. Or another time I took a CD and put it on top of the 45. That way you get the same whole size of the CD, but you get the width of the 45 record. I was going to do it with a 33 record because it's bigger, but the hole on the 33 record is so tiny it just didn't work. So there went that idea. Um, oh, I just recently did the keychains, and I talked about how when you make these and this is a bit shorter keychain, you can make them longer. When you make the keychains, you could use them to make curly cute hair on a doll, or like the mane on a horse, or the mane on a lion. I talk about that in my video when I'm showing you how to do the curly cues. I always try to think, oh, here's another washcloth. Here's another different washcloth. I just try to think of multiple things for the use of things. I know recently, one of the other videos I just did, and I think technically it's still in my room being finished. Yeah, it's for a scarf because it said, and then the instructions, you could continue the you can make it longer and continue the pattern instead of it being a scarf. Then you can use it to make a blanket, which I thought was very versatile. Very versatile. Um, Thank you, Lori. Oh, you love the Oh! Crochet by Mishi! Hi, Mishi! I just realized you were here. Hi, Mishi. Hey, Lori. Lori's still here. Yay. Um, um, I have. You have to go back and watch, but I showed you some of the new to me yarns that I've gotten from people this year. Actually, the shawl that I'm going to make it, you're not a shawl, it's called it's basically a shawl, but it's called a Gorgeous Gathered Wrap from this Crochet Surprise. I am going to be making it with the Red Heart Roll With It Melange. And 100% acrylic, 5.29 ounces, 150 grams, 389 yards. That's each. And then they're medium 4 weight. But this particular project needs, let's see, it requires foreskin, the Lion Brand, Heartland, medium 4, 1,004 yards total. And you're using a J hook. size 7mm hook. But so to add to this, because this wasn't going to be enough, because 389 times 2 is not enough. So I decided I had this cake, which has similar, like the thinness of this floor and the thinness on this floor are about the same. And I'm going to put those together. I think the colors, I know they're slightly, I know, because this has some colors in it that this has. I know they're not exactly the same, but they do have colors in them together that I think will work together, work well with this. So, I know, I probably don't, you guys are going, why in the world is she putting that together? Well, still, if I push this through, maybe you can kind of see some more of the colors in there. There are some of the colors in there that do kind of go with some of the colors that are in here. Ooh, what the neat thing is about some of these packaged, a lot of those packaged in this box, that box, the green and white box there, they come with this. Y'all know what's in here? Scissors. There are scissors in here. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, I can't wait to show y'all how to do that. It's another project. And this one has been kicking my butt, because I have tried and retried this one so many times. And it made me mad. This Aspen loop bag. Here's what it looks like. And it is made with Lion Brand cotton. And I think because I'm always afraid I'm not going to have enough, because I can't remember. Like, here's one of them I haven't used yet. And here's what's partially left of one of them. I think it came with like 3 or 4, but it's with that 24/7 cotton from Lion Brand, 3.5 ounces, 100 grams, 186 meters, or 106 yards, 170 meters. And we're using a 4.0mm hook. And I've gotten this far of it. So the thing is oh, wait a minute. Well, I'm on row 44 according to this one. How many rows? 44 out of 66. And then it shows how to sew them together. And then there's trim. And then there's the strap. I don't know. I think because in the interesting, I don't know if it was the design. They call these feathers, I think. This design. I don't know. One day I'm going to get this finished. And it'll probably be something that I will actually keep for myself, because it made me so mad. Because it was hard and hard to figure out where to go. Oh, I did show you recently when I did when last time I went thrift shopping and got some more yarn. I found I found these crochet hooks I had never seen before, and I'm going to show these again real quick. They're called unique circular crochet hooks. And at first I thought they were knitting needles, but look, no, they're crochet hooks. But see, they're connected like knitting needles are. They've got that wire between the two hooks, like a like a set of knitting needles will sometimes. Now I have Tunisian hooks that do have a wire that hangs down with like a stopper on the end, and I also have um, crochet hooks that have a hook on both sides, like Tunisian hooks that are double ended. But I'm trying to find one of them right now, and of course it's not within reach. But I've never seen one like this, where it looks more like a looks kind of reminds me of knitting needles, but they're crochet hooks. They are a 5.5 millimeter USI 9. HA Kid and Company Limited. Hmm. But I just thought these are really, really interesting. I've never seen crochet hooks like that before. But that's so cool. Um, I've never seen crochet hooks like that. That is cool. And then, like I said, of course, we will still also have devotions. I think I'm going to start doing devotions again in the beginning of the year. Oh, speaking of the beginning of the year, I've already pre-recorded videos on how to do the stitches on here. Um, a year of crochet stitches, a stitch a day perpetual calendar. And every day, and I've already got the first 8 days of January done. The very first pattern, let me see if I can get to January 1 here. First 4, 3, 2, there's 1. It's just a multiple of 2 stitches. That'll be January 1. Because in January, it's all about simple stitches. Simple stitches. Let's begin the year with some simple stitches for practice. So that's what all January is going to be about. And of course, whenever time I read the devotions, I always end it in the devotions with a cross prayer square. And I have the little prayer that I read with it. So that hasn't gone away either. Oh, I did a tutorial for this, I believe. Yes, I have. The even moss stitch pot holder. I have done one for this. This is from the crochet surprise box. I know I have done this one. But I do need to make thumbnails for the projects that are in these books that I've already done for you. Like I said, there's going to be some more projects for you to learn how to do coming from these books, and I will make thumbnails for those. And I'm still playing around with having a workshop. Like I said, it's not going to be something that you will come over here to Indiana for and see everything. It's not that kind of workshop. I do not know how to plan or do something like that. Crochet Workshop, the complete course for the beginner to intermediate crocheter. That's the name of this book. But each chapter is called a workshop. So I just don't want people to get confused that I'm having a workshop when all it is for learning how to do projects in said book. um, because I have them marked. I have all the projects marked, and and where all the workshop, the each of the chapters, the workshops, and then within each chapter they show you some other detailed things to do, how to do besides the projects. It's a really really cool book, and it's spiral bound so that it lays flat on the desk, which is very useful. So that when you're crocheting, it makes it a lot easier to deal to as a book to deal with. So I'm trying to figure out how to do a workshop without it being a workshop. If that makes sense to you. Um, because I don't want people to think that I'm having. I don't. I have to think. I have to see. I have to think about it some more because I don't want to come across as something that I want them to come to me to have to do. I'm just like, no, it's just tutorials. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out, and then we'll let you know. Um, if you live here in the Midwest, you know it's been cold and snow, and we're supposed to get some more snow this weekend. Hopefully not. And I tell you what, last weekend, because of all the snow we got, the fresh snow we had accident up in front of my work. We had accidents all up and down the highway. People that were like getting, sliding off the road and stuff. So I took a detour home, and I'm glad I did. It was still a little messy and kind of scary, but it was a lot better than trying to go down the highway because they were like cars were just basically parked on the highway. But because like everywhere else in the U.S., you have new drivers who don't know how to drive in snow, and you have people who do know how to drive in snow, but they still hit that patch of ice, that black ice that just comes out of nowhere, and you just go whoosh. But that's Midwest winters for you. Um, so if you have snowy winter cold right now, keep warm. And if it's warm where you are, keep cool. Be safe wherever you live. Be safe if you're having really frigid cold temperatures. I'm just praying we don't have winter like last year. Um, Last year, where I live here in the Midwest, here in Indiana, and we had some frigid temperatures. I mean, it was like in the negatives. I don't know. This last like all week, I've been keep one of our kitchen sink faces an outside wall, and it tends to freeze in the winter. So we've been keeping the kitchen cabinet door open and letting the water trickle so that it doesn't freeze. And so far, that works. Because all the rest of all our bathroom sinks all are on inside walls, so it doesn't really affect them. It just affects that kitchen sink because it's on an outside wall. Um, I guess when they built this house, they didn't think to add more insulation along that wall. I don't know why. I don't know why. Um, but anyway, um, watch my videos, watch all my little tutorials, go back and watch all my devotions. Oh, I haven't done it for really, really, something else I haven't done in a really, really long time. Um, There's a couple of people that when they get done watching my devotions, they will send. They're like, "Oh, this reminds me of this, this, and this verse." And so I had set up a notebook, and it's with all these verses that they write down. And then I went back and I would read those verses. I haven't done that in a very very long time. I need to do that again, which I will probably do because I just think that is the coolest. If I don't do it on here, I would definitely do it for myself because they have some interesting insights when they do that. When people do that, I love that. I have PJs on and I'm wearing a sweatshirt, so I'm kind of self conscious. um, I don't know. I mostly wanted to share the new books that are coming up for several different projects. Like there are blankets, there are pillows, there are scarves, there are hats, there's washcloths, vests, bags. Um, Somewhere there's a koala bear. Is it in this one? I believe so. Yes, there is a koala bear. That'll be interesting. Um, One of these has. Nope, it's not this one. It's this one. No, one of the other ones. One of these has the big. They're called poofs. Yeah, the poofs. They're basically a thing to rest your foot on. Now this is an interesting book. Okay, we all know boy hooks, right? But did you know that boy used to make? I don't know if they still do, but boy used to make crochet books. See, boy. um, let me see when it says when this. Oh, copyright in 1987. That's how old this book is. Um, Boy Needle Company, Chicago, Illinois. And it does give, instructions on how to crochet and different techniques. They even talk about broomstick lace and hairpin lace, which is incredible. I do have one of those thingies to do hairpin lace, but I need to try it. It confuses me. And then they do give they call them lessons, but they have a scarf, evening wrap, a red and black. It's a shirt. They got these pictures in black and white, which is kind of funny. A Southwest Ripples. It's a blanket. It says Q hook for quick. Oh, it's another Afghan. Colored with crayons. It's a little kid's sweater with a pocket right here. This round and round, which is a hat and scarf set, basically. A baby's first blanket. I think there's a color picture of that somewhere. I think I just seen. Maybe not. I thought I saw a colored picture of that. Yeah. There we go. Here's the colored pictures. I think they're in this one. So there's going to be some really fun stuff in here. Do a flashback to the 80s. Probably not this year, maybe next year, Lori. I don't know that I'm going to have time for that koala right now. I have a lot going on. But I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I do appreciate that. I have not, I have to, I haven't heard, this is probably bad because I haven't looked at people's lives in a while, or, because I've been watching TV lately. I decided to watch some TV shows here lately. And so I'm not familiar with Fantastical's December Mal. You'll have to let me know what that is. A lot of people still like to do make alongs and crochet alongs. Um, and I can't think of her name, but I was somebody, Floozy, something Floozy in her name. She's doing, she's doing an Advent, like an Advent calendar, though. She's like an Advent blanket for December, which I think that's a neat idea. Um, every day it's a different. I don't know if she's doing like a different stitch or so many rows of this many. I don't know, but I think that's an interesting play on an Advent. Instead of doing an Advent calendar, she's doing an Advent blanket. Um, kind of like for the month of December only. Like some people do a whole year calendar or a whole year blanket. This one's just a December blanket. Oh, actually, well, I'm not going to dig it out because it's over here in a mess in this pile of whips and all kinds. I actually do have a couple other notebooks that are filled with other projects that we can do, but that's a whole another future me problem. Um, I do have in a bin with a lid. There is a book and there's a couple of crochet hooks, and I kept them separate because it is for every month of the year of a year. It has a different blanket, and it talks about like what the birthstone is, and it tells you what colors to use, what specific colors to use for that month. And every blanket, of course, is a different design. And each blanket, I mean, they give you the general directions how to make this little teddy bear, but then the teddy bear for that it's a separate. You make the teddy bear separate from the blanket, but then the teddy bear is holding holding like an object, or might have something in its lap, or maybe it's holding a balloon, but it's holding something that goes with that month. So that's why I keep them in separate bins so that we can have directions, so I can make the teddy bear and we can make all the little goodies and make the blankets. I don't know if I'm going to do that next year or we're going to pick another year after next thing. I haven't decided that. I keep forgetting that's there until now. I just thought about that. Oh, Fiber Floozy Crafts. Thank you. I knew Floozy was in the name. I just could not. The collaborator for Summer Down Under. Oh, wait. So she says, I'm the collaborator. The theme is it's Summer Down Under. Oh. Okay. I kind of, because the koala would be like from Australia. I don't have time for it for December, but I do appreciate it. But that's a book that will be coming up here in the future. I got to get through the other books first, and then I'll be getting into those books. Because I'm trying to go through them. Like I'm not skipping through the books. I'm taking it. This project is first. Okay, now this page. Okay, this one has this project. Then this project, and so forth. That's cool. Um, Lori says that that's live fantastical. Yes, Australia is down under, but it's anything in the southern hemisphere. That's cool. You know, speaking of which, when you think about it, like here in the United States, yes, it's December, but technically, it's not winter until December 20th, according to the calendar. But if you live here in the Midwest, it already is winter. It's already winter. There is snow on the ground. It is cold. We've had some nights where it was like down to 2. And you had to wonder if your car was going to start the next day. And last winter we had negative temperatures, and I was praying that my car would start, and it started every time. It would complain about it, but it would start. um, but anyway, so right now we're having winter. Well, the other side of the world, like we're having fall and winter, they're having spring and summer, and then vice versa. When we're having spring and summer, they're having their fall and winter. Just like, you know, when we're having, like, today is Friday, and from my world where I'm at, in like less than 10 minutes, it's going to be Saturday morning, midnight Saturday morning. Um, well, some parts of the world it already is the middle of Saturday, you know, because there are that many hours ahead of us. We're almost like a half a day to a day ahead of us because of how time works. I don't. That's another thing I don't understand. I don't get. You know, you're like a whole day ahead of us. That's why, you know, part of the world, you know, when the new year starts, we're still trying to count down the new year, and they've already had their new years because they're so far ahead of us, time wise. Um, but yeah, so we've got, like I said, I had this whole stack of the crochet surprises. There's next year in the fall, there's gonna be a pumpkin, and next Christmas I've got a Christmas bag. I don't have time to get the Christmas bag this year. Um, there's a whole stack of those to do, those crochet surprise boxes. Look for them next year in the thumbnails. Um, look for more devotions. Um, more blankets. We're gonna have some washcloths, scarves, bags, mittens. Um, and the only reason, and I'm gonna look at it because it's good. I mean, if I don't find them, oh yeah, because in this book I kept thinking about these washcloths. This book's kind of silly when it comes to this set of washcloths because instead of just giving one instruction to say, hey, you know, you can use whatever color you want, they actually give the exact same instructions for each color. I kid you not. I kid you not. I mean, okay, here they are. There's a blue dishcloth. Okay. And there is the green dishcloth and the pink dishcloth. Okay, here's the blue one. Here's how that looks. Okay. Here's the picture of all three. They're all the exact same. But here's the instructions for the blue. Then there's the instructions for the other two colors. They're the exact same. I don't know why this book decided to do that, but they did. But there is one for a bath mat and for a single crochet washcloth and a half double and a double crochet. Those are separate instructions. Bath mat, or bath mitt, I should say. Um, it's like kind of like making the washcloth, and then we're gonna pretend this is the washcloth. This isn't the real one, but we're gonna say pretend that it is, and then it's just like folded in half, and then it's crocheted, and then it leaves an open space to put your hand. So it's pretty simple. And then a market bag, a shrug. I have made the shrug once, I believe. Uh, Neck warmer, cat and a dog mat. Afghan, I know I've made that. Ooh, granny square pillow and a granny square Afghan. So you make a pillow and a matching Afghan. That's pretty cool. I know I've made the vest for my grandmother once. But look, this book starts off with a baby cardigan and hat, which I think would be a lot harder than making the next project, which is a scarf. And to prove to you this is the first project, I can't turn pages. Abbreviations. Where's my pages are sticking together? Give me a minute. Oh, come on. I know it. Okay, now the book is going to prove me a liar. And that's not fair. The pages want to stick together because I know the very first page said projects. Anyway, other abbreviations and information. And then you flip it over, and the very first one is a baby cardigan and hat. And then the next one is a scarf. And to me, I would have done the scarf. I think the scarf and the vest should have been first. Then let's do a baby thing. I don't know. Or maybe it should have been next to the baby square, baby Afghan. I don't know. I did not. I'm not the author of this. If I can talk straight today. But anyway. We're going to have some fun making some really neat projects. Learn some more things. Make some more squares. I have all from those granny square boxes, all the ones that I have done so far. And they're only the ones that I have done with you guys. I haven't made any extras. They're in this box. They're in this tub. And there's a latch hook one. There's a latch hook thingy in here. So I'm putting all of those over there, and when I get done with all of these squares, each of these boxes come with 50 squares, mind you. But I'm gonna put the squares together to make a blanket, and that is gonna be one interesting blanket. Thank you, Lori. And let's see. Oh, go back and watch. I do have from this box. I've been showing you how to do tutorials. Now they do it in two separate. I tell you, nothing wants to work right for me today. Oh. They break it down into two sections. First one is simple stitch combinations, and the other set is textured stitches. Now the textured stitches not only shows you a picture just like the first ones, but they also give you like an up close. That circle is like an up close. And I just have one more, I believe only one more tutorial left. Yes, and that is the Solomon's knot. I'm still trying to figure that one out. Once I get that one figured out, then I will show you the tutorial, and then we'll get into the textured stitches. And if you haven't bought this box yet, I do believe you really need to get that. And when you do, you want to make sure you keep the instructions, because the instruction booklet that's in here, very helpful with some of these stitches. Very, very helpful. Tells you about the hook sizes, and it even has a conversion chart between US and the UK, as well as on the hook sizes, because UK gives uses different terminology than the US. For example, in the US, it's a single crochet. In the UK, it is a double. What we call a double crochet, they call a treble. What we call a treble, they call a double treble. What we would call a double treble, they call a triple treble. um, so, and we say skip a stitch, they say miss a stitch, which is the same thing. Um, and sometimes you have to be careful when you're reading patterns and make sure they're, especially older patterns, like if you were ever look at some really old patterns, then sometimes they're written in UK terms. So you have to make sure you're dealing with UK terms and not US terms. And if you are using UK terms, you have to translate them into US terms so that you're using the right stitches. Otherwise, you're going to drive yourself nuts. So, anyway. Whew. I talked a lot longer than I thought I was going to talk. Because it's been a little over an hour now. It is, technically for me, it is now Saturday. um, I just wanted to come on and let you know I'm still here. I'm still alive and kicking, still crocheting, still being me. Um, and and I'm trying to get some more videos in when I can, because life is busy, because I work and I'm I work 8 hours a day, plus I'm a taxi driver for my daughter and for my father, and for everything that they have to do, and plus, life where you're busy with your family and friends, and especially when we just got done with Thanksgiving, and we're getting ready for Christmas, because I want to get my house decorated and get presents. Still haven't gone to the stores to go shopping, and so yeah, life gets busy at the end of the year. But I just want to give you some ideas and say about some stuff that's coming up for next year. And of course, I'll still do thrift shopping and show you the yarn hauls from the thrift stores. And of course, sometimes the thrift stores have yarn, sometimes they don't. Or they might have yarn, but it's not the kind of yarn that I use, or that I'm particularly like. And so I just leave it for somebody else. Because, at thrift stores, the only time you find yarn is if somebody actually donates it. So, there will still be that to come up. Of course, we'll still be doing that. Um, like I said, then we're making all kinds of projects from these books, and we're going to be doing a workshop. I have to figure that one out. How to figure out how to do that because there's a lot. There is a lot going on in that book. Because there's projects and there's also little insights on how to do this, that, and the other. So there's a lot going on in that book. I just have to sit down and figure out how to do it. It's a lot. Um, it's got to take every day, one day at a time, one step at a time, and everybody try to keep warm this winter and be safe. Like right now, our roads are really good, but if you're having wherever you are living, if it's winter and you have really bad roads, be careful when you're out driving. Stay safe. If it's so bad that you really shouldn't be out, then don't go. Do not go. If the roads are good, good. Um, Also, our school system has been kind of did something strange this year. Well, to me, strange because this particular school system that our kids go to usually is like the last people to close. Where everybody else is having delays and closings, like if everybody else is closing, we're having delay. If they're having delays, we're not having it. And this time they had delays and closings for cold weather, and I was like, really? That never. But anyway, I need to get to bed. I have to take my daughter to work this weekend because we're on opposite weekends. They switched her weekends. She's on opposite weekends than I am. That's another thing that makes it hard because there's things that we usually do when we're because we're both off together. Things that we usually go see together as a family and we can't because we're on opposite weekends now. I hate that. And they can't switch back. Anyway, but that's my problem. That's not your problem. I'm sorry. One of my daughters told me I just need to take like a week and try to reorganize. You can't see all this, but there's some mess here and there's some more messes over here. I just need to reorganize. But I think part of my problem is I just need to crochet. Because I've got actually some major projects over here that just need to get done, and once I get them done, then that gets a lot of stuff off the floor and out of this room. And I need to use a lot of the stuff that was given to me. Um, and like one of the people, for example, was Lori Stories and Crochet. She sent me some yarn, which I was so thrilled to get. And some of this yarn was given to me by a friend. Another box of yarn was an old lady at my daughter's work was like, "Hey, come on, see me. I have some yarn for you." And she told me this whole story, and I told you guys about it on another video. Um, so it was kind of neat to get some for people to donate yarn to me. I had never had that happen before until this year. Usually I'm having to go buy it, and people were donating yarn to me. I was like, "Woo! This is cool. I like this feeling." This was my first year to get happy mail for this. To get happy mail. That was really cool. I know I'm kind of geeking out over something silly as happy meal, but if you've never had happy meal before and you get it for the first time, you're just like, ah. Okay, I'm silly. If you watch me anytime, you know I'm silly. If you watch any of my devotions, you will know I'm silly. If I'm making projects, sometimes I remember this, that, and the other that reminds me of something, and it's like, ah. That's me. Well, thank you for the big hugs. Um, but I love y'all. I thank you for coming and for the summies. Everybody give summies, summies, summies. And you know what? I'm gonna tell you the little prayer square. This small swatch of yarn has been woven with prayers. As you hold this swatch in your hand, may you feel God's strength, love, and peace flow and know that He holds you in His hands. May God bless and comfort you in your time of need and give you peace. Amen. Love y'all. Bye.